Hi, I'm Rob, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can upgrade your 599XX Evo Ferrari wheel that uses the old style Thrustmaster connection system to the new type, which you can use on things like the T598 direct drive wheel. Now there are several reasons why you may want to do this. First one is basically the wheel provided with the T598 is not the best quality. It feels a bit cheap and nasty in a way, and it's like, it's a bit of a shame because the rest of the package I think is really good. The actual base is really good, the pedals are good, but the wheel certainly has a element of cheapness about it. This like moulding here, which you can actually feel when you race, it's not that great. I can even get my nail in this part here. So yeah, so not a fantastic quality, but it is serviceable. If it's the only wheel you've got, then obviously you're gonna have to use it, but I would recommend soft racing gloves with this because then you don't actually feel that cheap kind of quality about it, and it does feel a bit cheap, has to be said. But if you've got something like this Ferrari wheel here, then you're absolutely going to want to use that instead and convert it to the same configuration. Now there are two ways to do this: via the quick release adapter or the quick release upgrade. Now this is the one I completely recommend. I did a different video on why I do not recommend this at all. I'll put a link to that in the description below. So we're going to go with the quick release upgrade. This is going to convert the back of this wheel to the same connection configuration as the new system. This literally is an adapter. It goes over the existing system and locks down in place, but there's a lot of issues with this, which, like I say, is in that other video. So that's how we show how we go about this. Now this video is for this particular wheel, but the idea is very, very similar for all other wheels in the Thrustmaster range, apart from the SF1000, which is that one there. So you can't do it this method if you got that wheel. You need the separate kit for that. But this is the adapter kit, or the conversion kit I like to call it. Let's move that out of the way. You get some tools in there as well, which is handy, and a little wire, which is what we're going to use. So with this wheel, this is the Ferrari 599XX Evo wheel, you want to remove the bottom screw, the one at roughly 10 o'clock and the one at roughly 2 o'clock. But with the tool provided, don't use this part of the Allen key provided. It's slightly the wrong size, it's a different fit. It only just barely kind of fits in where you want it to go, and you're going to end up like tethering or damaging the screws, which you don't want, or the bolts. So you can use this end here, which is the slightly smaller one. So let's get these removed. So remember the one at 6 o'clock, the one at roughly 10 o'clock, and the one at roughly 2 o'clock. The other three you leave in place. I think they're holding the circuit board in place, something like that, but pretty easy to remove. Just make sure you use the end of the Allen key that I'm using here, which is the one on the long end of the thing. You know what I mean. Let's park that to the side. It's all been done in real time. I'm not going to speed this up just to show how straightforward it actually is to do this. In fact, it'd be actually quicker to do this normally because I'm sort of hovering around a camera, which makes it actually slightly awkward. But once we've got those out, you can then throw it over there and then lift off the back. Now, oh, that pulled out by itself, but yeah, ordinarily just ping that out gently like that, and put that to one side. This is the bit we don't need anymore because we're going to replace it entirely with a new one. But for the 599XX Evo wheel, you don't actually use the one that's already attached to it. There's a thinner one supplied with a thinner connection on the end. This one here. So we're going to take this off of here. Don't need this one. Come on. We're going to connect this one in. Make sure the little slots there line up with the slots on the connector. that, and then just connect that to the wheel. I'm going to move around the camera for this bit. Can't really see what I'm doing otherwise. Again, make sure the slots line up with the slots, if that makes any sense. I think it does. You'll know what I mean when you see it. And just connect them in place and push down. Slightly fiddly if you've got big hands. Yeah, I feel like it's in place. Let me see what I'm looking at on the camera. Is that visible? Yeah, so we've got that connected now. Right, now just going to connect this back in place. No, not that way around. Want it so it's like that. Then we're going to flip it over and put the screws back in. Now, Thrustmaster do provide 3 different screws for this, or bolts. I keep on calling them bolt screws for some reason. So I'm going to use them just in case they're a slightly different length or something like that. Might as well use them if they're provided. And tighten up again. No need to over tighten, just till it stops moving like naturally, like a nice natural tightness. Nothing like, you haven't got like sort of spin off it kind of thing to try and tighten it. Just get it nice and tight and then give it another little half turn. In fact, that one's actually not sitting down as far as the other ones did. No, I've got to give it another bit of a turn, that's why. Yeah, it's fine. Perfecto. Yeah, there we go. Right, let's plug it in and see if it works. So this is with the stock wheel attached. I'm about to remove this and put on that Ferrari wheel with that new upgrade and see if it works or not. Now, I do usually wear gloves when playing racing games anyway, but the advantage to wearing gloves when using the stock wheel is it takes away from that cheap feeling. Your gloves kind of hide the cheap feeling of the wheel. But I do like to not wear gloves sometimes when using that Ferrari wheel. So let's do away with the gloves and see how it feels to use that wheel again with its natural feeliness. Whatever feeliness is. Right, so let's pop this off. One of the cool things about the 598 as well is the fact that you can swap wheels without turning the machine on and off again. Working absolutely straight away, fantastic. Right, let's jump in and have a race for this. Right, so let's give it a quick try. Yeah, really, really nice. You can really feel, wow, the force feedback through this wheel really, really well. Got traction control turned off just so I can feel every slip and slide. I'm going to do a test later on where I basically compare this wheel directly to that stock wheel that comes with the T598, just to see how good or bad that wheel really is, because initial impression is like the build quality isn't all that great, but I want to see also how it conveys the feedback, force feedback through the wheel as well when compared to something like this, because I actually think that the reason why that wheel is of slightly lower than standard quality excuse me, is because I think Thrustmaster fully expects most people that buy the T598 already have some Thrustmaster wheels already. I'm just going to pull over, I think that'll do for this. But yeah, but it's still not really an excuse to actually have that kind of poor quality. Forgot where the buttons are on this, I've used it for a while. There's the handbrake, thank you. But yeah, I felt really, really nice to use this wheel again. Like I say, I will do a future video comparing something like this wheel with the one that comes with it. I mean, this feels just nasty straight away to just pick up and hold. Oh, I thought this had gone. Oh, maybe this oscillation thing hasn't gone. Because I remember this was an issue that people were saying about with this when you sat there doing nothing. Let's see if it picks up and gets stronger or not. See, I wasn't expecting this. When you're not actually playing a game, it doesn't do this. I'm sort of interested to see if it does it, if it gets worse. So I don't think this is actually in-game sort of sync, if you know what I mean, in sync with the game, because you can see, you might be able to see that the wheel is actually out of time with what you're seeing on the screen, and normally that is not the case. It's normally not bang in time. But the point of what I was meant to be doing before I noticed that jiggling was that the wheel that comes with the T598 is exactly the same size as this Ferrari 599XX Evo wheel, which is a really, really good thing. So I think this is the ideal size for just most racing games, barring F1. This will be a bit unwieldy for F1, you want a smaller wheel for that. But for most games, Gran Turismo, rally games, GT games, things like that, this is going to be a good all-rounder. But I will be doing a future video just to compare how well this wheel compares to something much nicer, like this wheel here. So that oscillation doesn't seem to be getting any worse. It seems to be like moving just a bit. It's not like picking up and going wild like it could do on some earlier versions. Maybe the software update fixed that, I'm not sure, but either way, doesn't seem to be an issue. But it's slightly annoying, and it's very easy to stop. But there it is, there's a video. If you enjoyed it, it'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button, it really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.